Okay guys, what we have here is the Cammy Pop Culture Shock Street Fighter statue. This is a complete overhaul on that piece to the M.Bison alternate costume. And basically it was just a total gut job per se. I had to chop it up into a bunch of smaller pieces so it was more easy to work with. And I will, I guess, start with what we did and explain the situation. This has 4 features. It has cloth, metal, paint, and sculpting. So I really, pushed the envelope on what I could do on this. As you can see, as she's coming around now, the hair. First thing I did with that was Cammy's move set. She spins a lot of rotating, and I thought that the way the hair laid before was a little lifeless. So I kind of broke it to get it to the desired place that I wanted, and then I had to resculpt it in the braiding so it has that nice curve. Like, it looks like I kind of captured the moment right where she's like twirling around real fast to look at you, especially right there. And the braids really relay that sense of motion that's happening at this second, almost like a photograph. Okay, so we will start at the bottom. Start that. There is a Shadow Lu sign, which is, if you're familiar with Street Fighter, it's M.Bison's organization. He's the big bad guy who this costume is based off of. I'm personally a huge Street Fighter fan. I played the game growing up. I watched all the movies. I have all the seasons on DVD. And I don't really get into it as much as I used to, but I still have a love for this, this kind of like pop culture icon that is Street Fighter. And this is the first and probably the last Street Fighter I'm going to take on as far as the statue, because I'm trying to wean out of doing the customs. Yeah, my first shot in it, I definitely think I did well. So yeah, the boots did not work initially because there was a big cuff around the top of them, and it didn't match the control art. So I had to get rid of this cuff so I could put the shin guards on and make everything work. So that was kind of tough to pull that off. So I fixed the boots so they match the control art for the character, sculpted the stockings, and the kind of like the upper elbow area, and the M.Bison hat, which also, if you can see, let me try and zoom in for you, the M.Bison logo is actually on the hat. So yeah, there was a little bit to work with there. There was a little beret style hat that I kind of sanded down and had it as a nice base and sculpted over top of it. The sewing the bathing suit was really tough. I don't enjoy sewing, but it came out great. I ran into a couple of problems because, as you can tell right there, it's a very revealing bathing suit, and every time I tried, it just came out looking like it was from the 80s or something. It just wasn't sexy enough. So I redid it and retweaked it and redid it and retweaked it, and now you have how it looks now, which is really good. The stockings are actually a matte black, and I sprayed over a like a blue sheen, because that's really how the control art looks per se. It's black, but it has that bluish kind of highlight. And every place you see silver is actual metal that I worked in my shop, custom fit it to this character. So it really came out well, and it's definitely a one of a kind, and will be very hard to replicate for anyone. The metal will definitely be probably the hardest. There's leather straps around the bottom, and some of the control art, that's how the shin guards are held on. So I adapted that because that brown breaks up the color a little bit and adds another mixed media format. So I'm cool with that. And it just came out fantastic. And I kind of gauge how well I did with these statues as if I want to send them back to the customer. Because if I want to keep them, I know I did a good job. And I added the little belt around her waist and the black stripe going up the chest, and she's really impressive in person. I know you hear everyone say this who takes videos of pieces, but you just can't relay how detailed and how great it looks in person on camera. And that's it. You know, I hope you guys really enjoy this. I know the customer loves it, and I know it's going home to a good collection, and that's what it's all about. And thanks so much for your guys' time, and as always, more to come.
How did you do that?
With style, Petit. With style.